a mouse, cause I'm an albatross. I'm an albatross.
Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming. So tomorrow, February 28th, the expansion number 3 for the season pass of the division will release. We will be able to finally play Last Stand, and there will also be a free update for 1.6 for those that don't have the season pass or the expansion yet. So some of the most important things that are highlighted is the Darkzone expansion, the Darkzone leaderboards, the contamination events, the legendary mode for those looking for a real challenge, and exotic weapons, which is my personal favorite that I'm excited for. Now, the Last Stand is an 8v8 adversarial mode. Capture and defend tactical locations. You get to unlock perks and build fortifications for your team. The first team to upload all data wins the match. So that sounds really competitive. Definitely going to be enjoying that gameplay with the Jar fellas. Now, there's also going to be a new incursion, which is called Stolen Signal. You get to explore the 4 wings of the Channel 93 2V studio, team up and complete various objectives to defeat the Rikers and save the hostages. That seems pretty intense right there. So what we're going to do in this video here is we're going to go over some of the updates on the 1.6 in more detail. I believe the last video we had some rough ideas of what they were looking to do and some of the suggestions that they received from, the surveys that they took with some of the top players in the community. But this here is more or less a final review, and the release is coming out tomorrow, so this is pretty much set in stone. And if you go over to the website, they'll give you an explanation of what they're trying to do. So ideally, they want to release expansion Last Stand and a Last Stand game mode and a free update to all the players. It's supposed to be a major overhaul, which they began in update 1.4, and it continued over to 1.5. So we're going to skip through this here. We covered a lot of this in the last video that we did. But the Darkzone will open up areas 7, 8, and 9. And just a quick summary is the Darkzone has been expanded with 3 new areas. Darkzone 7 through 9, north of Darkzone 6 and Midtown East. There'll be new landmarks featuring waves of enemies. That's cool. Landmarks will award you with additional loot placed directly into your inventory. So that it will be just like a supply drop. So if you grind and get items from there, and you happen to run into some rogues and you get killed, your items are guaranteed to be in your inventory. So that's always a good thing right there. And you get to fast travel between Darkzone checkpoints as they become available. So that's also a real nice feature. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be contamination events. So the contamination events have been added to the Darkzone. Roughly every hour, elite cleaners will spawn in the Darkzone underground. Contamination in those areas will reach lethal levels, so your virus filter will not be able to resist it. So you basically survive as long as you can without the virus filter. So that should be a pretty interesting hourly event. There's also going to be Darkzone leaderboards to create more competition and to encourage those that have been playing for a long time. So the leaderboards have been added to the Darkzone, tracking a wide range of different activities both in PvP and PvE. All tracked activities will be turned into a total score. Leaderboard rank is divided into 3 tiers and will give out rewards when they reset on a weekly and monthly basis. So not only do you get to compete for a high score, but it's also going to be rewards. Come on, how can you argue against that? That's a great feature. Next up is the legendary difficulty. The legendary difficulty mode has been added to Times Square, Warren Gate Power Plant, and Napalm Production Site. And it features new, powerful, and smart enemies. So there'll be some tough new AI enemies. Should be interesting. The legendary difficulty is the most challenging content in the game and is intended for organized groups. So there has to be team chat involved for this. You got to be able to communicate and come up with the ideal strategy for the moment. Legendary difficulty rewards you with unique vanity items not available elsewhere in the game on top of the regular rewards. So there are exclusive legendary items for completing this. So that's going to make a lot of people want to run and do that first. Definitely. There's going to be exotic items and new gear sets. So the new gear sets we kind of expect with every update, but the exotic items is something different. So named gear pieces and weapons are now called exotics and have been given their own color in your inventory. Exotic weapons all have their own unique talent. This change is retroactive. So you have a named weapon already. These changes here are going to roll back. So you have a Hungry Hog or any of those named weapons, these features are going to be added in there. So that's real good. So hopefully you didn't break them down. I mean, I think I've broken down a couple of Hungry Hogs and other things as well. So the exotic weapon sets have been introduced. Exotic caches are available as a weekly reward from legendary difficulty missions. That's going to be cool as well. And we all love hunting those cache. I know I call it cache. Gotta blame my boy the Real Rumble for that because that's what he calls them. But we're going to be grinding for those. Now the gear set changes. Alpha Bridge 4-piece bonus now shares the free talent from your weapons instead of all three. That's a major change. Frontline's 4-piece no longer removes the critical hit chance. Instead, it removes the effect of any mods you applied to the shield. The Reclaimer set focuses on the support station. Its 4-piece bonus activates all support station mods simultaneously. It no longer has an effect on consumables. Tactician's authority buff only disappears after you use a skill. And there's a new gear set called the SEEKR. There's also going to be armor and resistances. So summary here. Armor has been removed as a major bonus and replaced with health. Gear still comes with base armor and some talents will still give you bonus armor. Health and stamina are your primary means of toughness. Current health rolls have been turned into the new stat Resist All. Resistance have become analog instead of binary. Diminishing returns have been added to your status effects. Other parts of the game have been rebalanced as a result to make sure time to kill and time to be killed stay balanced. Again, all changes are retroactive. There's also going to be a change to skill power and skills. So skill power has been moved to a system similar to armor, where each new world tier you reach will demand more skill power to reach the same effectiveness of your skills. Now what does that mean? So right now, if you were to play in World Tier 1 versus World Tier 4, you'll notice your stats will be a lot higher in the first tier. As you go up to the 4th tier, it adjusts to the level of the AI. So it's all relevant and corresponds to the correct difficulty of the world you're playing in. So the skill power is also going to be adjusted as well. There's a bigger difference in skill efficiencies between low and high skill power builds. Changes have been made to the Sticky Bomb, First Aid, and Shock Turret. So that Sticky Bomb is very popular, and so is that First Aid. We've rebalanced signature skills and made it impossible to trigger a signature skill when you're already suffering from its immunity debuff. Tactical Link's damage bonus has been lowered in PvP. And there's some more PvP balancing as well. So hipfire stability while moving has been decreased, and a new hipfire camera has been added. The damage gap between body damage and headshots has been lowered. When combat rolling, there's now a 1 second delay before you can roll again. So that means if you're chasing down someone and they roll, they're going to have to wait a full second before they can roll again. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to dodge, but it also makes it easier to finally chase someone down. You can no longer reload your weapon while sprinting. So that's a big change as well. Medkits can now be used at full health and remove certain status effects. The rejuvenated talent has been changed to give additional resistance to status effects. Adrenaline no longer gives an overheal for medkits. That's different. That is a major change. Instead, it will give a heal over time. Your enemy's health bar will flash whenever they use a medkit. And survivability talents like On the Move, Battle Buddy, and Critical Save have seen some balancing changes. And there's more changes. There's going to be some updates to the in-game store. There's some economy changes as well. So unlimited recalibration has been introduced. The price increases each time, capping out at 5 recalibrations. So ideally, you can recalibrate as much as you need to get a God roll. Helping civilians rewards intel. High-end pistols and survival no longer cost division tech. Scavenger box now scales world tier. And some item prices have been tweaked. So that's it. Those are the changes introduced. The rest you can view on the website. And again, it launches tomorrow, February 28th. So finally the wait is over. Folks, this was a full review. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. If it's your first time, watching the channel, definitely appreciate you for watching the whole thing. And definitely share it for anyone who's interested in the 1.6 update in The Last Stand. And to my returning subs, thanks again, folks. I really appreciate it. I do make these updates to keep you guys informed and just to keep the channel full of information, all right? So as always, peace out. Thank you.